Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I made a video yesterday claiming that the Israeli government will use nuclear weapons against Iran. And I know some people might be outraged by the claim, but I will tell those who are outraged just to look into patterns. And not only look into patterns, I will show you why I said that Israel will use nuclear weapons if they have them against Iran. The video I made yesterday was titled, and the thumbnail, more importantly, was titled like this: Israel Defense Minister threatens Tehran with Holocaust. Why? Because he said Tehran will burn. So, right here, I'm asked nukes. Now, I didn't make that claim just because I want to be inflammatory or anything like that. But how do you learn someone's character? By previous behavior, previous acts, sometimes similar in similar situations. So I will show you as an example Gaza, and I will show you Iran. As well, I will show you how this war against Iran takes a biblical flavor. Now, before I go and make that overlapping of biblical flavor into the war against Iran, the Israeli comes and say that this is an existential threat. Iran is an existential threat. So what does that mean? That means if I am fighting someone and I have a pistol and he doesn't have a pistol and we fist fight, and all of a sudden I get a bloody nose and I'm saying, oh my God, I'm almost knocked out. Would I let myself to be knocked out, existential threat, with my pistol in the holster? Or I will take it out? What do you think I will do? Now, you can keep your pistol in a holster and be knocked out. I will not do that because normal people will not do that. I remember the Japanese, the samurais, one of the worst, the most, how should I put it, embarrassing death in the samurai was to die with a sword sheathed, without even taking it out. So if you can, but you had no time. So I don't think the Israelis will do that. So I will start with this article, and it is from Reuters. Israel takes name of Iran operation from Bible verse. All right. So, Jerusalem. Israel has called its military operation against Iran a rising lion, taking the name from a biblical verse that promises a victorious future for a powerful Israel. Now, Israel has 10 million people on the globe. There are about 24 million, all these guys. But they are so powerful because they're always been the victims somehow, and therefore they are powerful, 20 million people. All right, this is isn't it the richest, the wealthiest group and the smallest in the same time or something? Anyway, why how should I put it nicely? Why do we have, not we, because we don't have a problem here, but why is it that we have these problems in the Middle East? There are problems in the Middle East. Well, this particular problem started obviously in 1948. That's when it started. When a group of people were given a plot of land. And some people say that plot of land is from us. You took it from us. It's ours. But the guys who were given that plot of land by others, by the third party, who owned that land somehow, said, you know what? It's ours. It's ours because God gave it to us. So this is the main claim of that land. I mean, if you look at, I'm talking the biblical verse. If you go to the Old Testament, remember someone said, I'm going to take you and I'm going to give you that land. And that land was not these people's land, was other people were living on that land. It's written by themselves. So I will take you and I will go to the neighbor's house. I'm going to go and give their land to you. And you're going to take it by force. And after that, you are dispersed and you come back to the same land that you claim it was given to you, but you took it from someone else. It's not, I wrote books on this. Go and check them on Amazon. God's nature. So not only that, you can verify it with the Old Testament. Go and read it. So this is the claim. God gave me your land. And now I'm on it. I left for a while, not entirely, and now I'm back with these guys doing the dirty job for me, like others. So this is the claim. So when you have this claim, there's no reason in it. You can't reason with this claim. Man, it was given to me, man, by my God. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Unless you, it's either I or you. So this is the center problem here. Some people claim you came and took our lands. The other ones say, no, you want to destroy us because we took our land that was promised to us, and everybody should respect that because we say it in that book that given to us. All of you have to respect, but we don't have to respect anything from your side. So this is a religious zealot connotation and I think flavor. So let's go and move on. Remember, rising lion. Here, the Telegraph. Bombardment of civilian areas crosses a red line, Israel tells Iran. So indeed, targeting civilian population and areas, that's not okay whatsoever. Correct? Correct. But why did Iran, you always go to the chronologically to the issue. Why Iran struck civilian areas? Well, we're told that Israel struck some scientists. Are scientists military targets or are scientists civilians too? And they tell us right here, Israel-Iran live updates. 13 killed in Israel by 2 nights of Iranian strikes. Netanyahu says, oh, hey, that's awful. 13 killed by 2 nights. Do you know how many Iranians were killed? Do you know how many Iranians were killed? And if you don't, why not? So this is ABC News. Did ABC News tell you how many Iranians? Because there were civilians dead and injured. Remember, a scientist is a civilian. But I will show you. Let me go to the right one. Here, this is the title from Time. Here are the top Iranian generals and scientists. Scientists are civilians, targeted and killed by Israeli strikes, and what we know about them. But this is not the article I found and I was looking for. This is the article that I found and I've been looking for. From The Guardian, try and find it for me. Right there, The Guardian. What has Israel hit in Iran and who were the generals and nuclear scientists killed? I can't find it anymore. They come from probably under a different title. So, who crossed the red line? And by the way, I made a video yesterday, not that one with the Holocaust, the other one, about how many Iranians were killed. About 70 some were killed. Some generals, some civilian scientists. Scientist is the worker who goes to work, okay? And then you have other civilians. So who crossed the red line? All right, so this is just a preamble of going to something else. And they come and tell us 13 killed in Israel. ABC tells you. Next one. But in the meantime, Israeli soldiers shoot 15 dead at Gaza aid distribution center. But we have this one right here. Okay? So civilians. And I would like you to look deeper into Gaza and what happened over there with civilian casualties. Remember, this is on the 14th of June. And this one right here, this is from the 15th of June. So 13 in 2 massive strikes, and this is it. Medical sources in the Gaza Strip said Israeli soldiers shot and killed at least 15 people near a humanitarian aid distribution center. There's a tragedy that occurs over there. All right? So what do we have so far? Israel has the right for those lands because an entity, for some of us, imaginary entity with no, how do you call that? with no legitimacy, with no how should I put it? I can find a word. Come on, give me the word now. You don't want me to say about you? Authority. With no authority for some of us. Promised some people someone else's land that eventually they got, with the help of exterminating Canaanites, Amorites, and all that. You remember? Okay, they took that one, and then after their rebellion in 80 something common era, the Romans took care of certain things, and these guys were dispersed in diaspora. And then they came back with the Balfour Declaration in the First World War, and then after the Second World War, with Mr. Truman and all these guys, they were made a country. The same one they were promised and given by that imaginary entity that they believe in, that some others don't. All right? And that we can't make, unless we are a religious entity here, we are a theocracy. We don't make laws and we don't accept, hey, you know what, God told me over there because that your wives could be my wives whenever I feel like. But the same God, let's say, tells me that my wives are not your wives whenever you want. Never. But your wives are mine because, my God, you can't say, okay, based on that, everybody on this planet, we respect this little people's imaginary thing, and by that, we enforce it. So basically, this is what these guys are claiming. It's ours, man. That's promise right there, man. You gotta respect that. You want me to give you some fiction books? Here you go. Anyway, and that gets me to the top of the cherry on top of the cake, right there. The Telegraph. Israel faces an immediate existential threat from Iran. But why did we get here? Because someone struck preemptively Iran. So immediate existential threat. Now I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it. You know that any country that possesses nuclear weapons, it has its nuclear protocol, which states the use of nuclear weapons will be in these scenarios, these situations. The main one is the immediate existential threat of the country, of the nation. Got it? So that is the A, B, C, D. That's the first one. When our existence is threatened, we reserve the right to get our pistol or revolver out of our holster and use it. Now, I would like to get you, since we are in the area, back to this one. What I say here, there will be, my friends, there would be. And now, how can I be so certain, which I'm 99% certain they will use nuclear weapons when they want to take care of stuff? And that is when the Americans will not help them and they will be overpowered by Iran. They will use this thing, oh my God, we are existential threat right here. We are under attack and we deserve, please, okay. And I'm going to call it, the dying lion or something. How do I know, or not do I know, how do I feel, let's put it this way, in the liberal imbecile terms, that they will use it? Well, look at the patterns. Look at the past. Look at the past, my friends. And I always revert to the Passover. They celebrate Passover. Do you know what Passover is? I said this on many occasions because it's relevant. And it's not only Passover. If you look at their main celebrations, how do you call it? When they celebrate something for their Passover or the lightning of the whatever, they are usually celebrating someone being fucked by them from the past. Like the Passover, the easiest example, is the same entity who promised them someone else's land, comes over Egypt in the middle of the night and kills, unfortunately for us, normal people, the Egyptian boys, babies, I think until about 1 year old or something. But it spares the Israelis living over there. But babies, are babies guilty of anything? According to them, yes, they are. So they have no problem with that and they celebrate Passover. That's Passover. The Passover is the passing over of God's Spirit over Egypt one night and kills the babies, the Egyptian babies. That's what it is. And they celebrate that. Now, would you celebrate that? A baby is innocent. Civilians, remember, crossed the red line. Now you think, Emil, come on, you're crazy. I mean, that happened, if happened, that happened, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Come on, more than 3,000 years ago. What's going on? 2,500 years ago. Come on, man. Well, it's not me celebrating that. It's these guys right here celebrating it, not commemorating like, oh my God, poor Egyptian babies. That's the first one. The second one, do I need to send you to Gaza to see what's going on over there? Now you can say, okay, Hamas. But the rest, the civilian population, 2 million people in a very narrow strip over there, what happened? They closed all the water, food, and all the help in there to die like pests. That tells you they don't really look at these guys as, if you're chosen, that means you're someone who are above. Remember the Germans, they had that national anthems during the evil Adolf. Germany over or above all. That's what it was. Deutschland über alles. That was the German national anthem then. And obviously you can't, my God, no. Look, But here you have a chosen. And if you're chosen and you're not chosen, that means you are preferred, you're not preferred. Why you're not preferred, you're not as good probably. That tells me, I mean, however you want to take it in a Greco-Roman logic versus the goat herder mind. So there you have in Gaza, where I don't know how many children, 20,000, 15,000 in 2 years, more than in Ukraine, unfortunately. And no, you crossed the red line, we got 13 dead. How awful that is. How about the other one? And you got the babies in the, and it's not only that, it's not only the babies in Egypt. So they will use it based on this. And they have, whomever is in charge of these guys, a mentality of prophecy. There's a reason why they called it the whatever rising lion and so on. And they use this kind of biblical verses, not only for themselves, but for some in the West who are definitely deluded in believing that in all this story. That's how I call it. In all this story. And remember, if those guys would be in charge, you would not be spared. The Christians are not loved by those guys. They have an eye for an eye. That is their ideology. Read it. It's your thing. But these guys have turned the other cheek and love your enemy. Love or whatever, forgive and all that. Okay, you do that. I like the Israelis' ideology, an eye for an eye, more than the other one. You do that. Give me everything you got. And then you're going to have salvation and you're going to live after that. But in this life, I want to have what's yours. You can have it in the next life. Everything. I give you that. You can have it. Good for you. Why? I think you can imagine why I say that. So nevertheless, here it is, my friends. They will use it. And once they are existential threat, it's right there. And they will use it. And you know what's going to happen next? After they use it, the media operatives and your books in the West will write that it was all justified. Because you see, in your book at the Revelation, the last book, right? Over there, it says that when Israel will be cornered and will be almost the destruction, then we're going to have what? The second coming. Isn't that what? Something like that? Anyway, some second coming if it was the first coming. But anyway, let's call it this way. So we have some zealots who want prophecies to fulfill. And they see the signs. How many times I went to churches? I went to many churches, different denominations. Not only churches, temples and others. And they talk about the signs. 3 hurricanes this year, that's a sign. Rains a little bit more this year, we think, it's a sign. The famine in Africa, that's a sign to the end. That's why I say all the time, I've heard that. I want you to go to the Pentecostals. It's a sign every day we're getting over there. What do you think they talk right now? I can only tell you. This is a sign. Israel is going to be surrounded. Let's help Israel. Well, help what? Why? If we help Israel, that means it's not going to be the second coming. We wait for the second coming, so don't wait Israel. So what are we going to do? I mean, you have to help it because we love them and all that. But if you help them, and then it's God's will and God's, okay, whatever. So you're going to have it. You are going to have it. And your history books will write that it was justified, and actually they would twist it in something that is actually something positive. The first country using nuclear weapons, not atomic weapons, whatever. You're going to find out, right? They shush about the war crime of the Americans in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Just drop 2 atomic bombs, the war ended, and shorten, save our boys, and that's it. Not that there is a war crime as it was. No. It's not thought like that in your books, as it should be. It matches the definition, my friends, the term over there. Nevertheless, these guys are going to be turned the other way. We're going to worship this, and they will have this victory as the Passover celebration. I guarantee you that. You don't have to believe me. Just wait. Patience is still our Greek value and virtue. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.